So the last one is Insta beauty. I have few clients who are super Insta influencers and super gorgeous and wealthy, beautiful, successful, breathtaking, amazing everything. I want you to be man enough to be my man. I'm like, but girl, you are a little bit too masculine. Give him a space to be the man. No, he should be more man than I am. But men don't want to fight with a woman. They will fight with a man, but not with you. No. If he is a man enough, he should man up for me. I always tell them, when a woman's up, men will man up. No. For these few pattern of clients, they will continue working with me and never do what I tell them. Like, they would use me to just talk to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I did? I screwed him and I screwed him, ha ha ha. But now I'm lonely. Mm-hmm. But that whole idea, I want you to man up more than I am. It's really feisty. Mm-hmm. So how do you deal with this kind of situations?
Yeah, I've been that. I remember I had this, there's this situation. It was a woman from New Jersey, mm-hmm. and she was social influencer, very successful, very powerful, and she wanted a man that could man up. Yeah. And I would remind her that her ex-boyfriend, who was a man who could man up, mm-hmm. put her down in front of her friends, mm-hmm. insulted her, physically abused her. Mm-hmm. And then I would say to her, this new guy that you're hanging out with, that you think it's fun to make fun of him, he is successful, he respects you, he cares about you, and he's not after you being weak. He just doesn't believe you're worthy of him fighting with, because he's such a man that he respects you to the point that there's no point fighting with you. And that if you want to win, he's just going to let you win because it doesn't matter. And then I'll be like, so you have a choice. Do you want to go back to that other guy who was a man and treated you like shit? Or do you want to be with this other guy who's the first man to treat you with respect? Because that's the difference here. And I'll often remind them about what it looks like to be a true man. And I like this because you get a lot of guys that think like being a man is like, oh, I'm a man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Yeah. And the example they always give is the cowboys from the old Western movies. And I'm like, the real man, it was never the loud guy in the bar that was like, I'm going to fight you. It was never the bad guy. The real man was the quiet guy that came in alone, and he respected everybody. And then he stood up against trouble, and he fought back against the trouble. And then if the woman didn't show interest in him, he'd ride off on his own. Mm-hmm. And if she said, wait, take me with you, he'd be like, sure, let's go. Mm-hmm. And he was that confident rock in their life. And I think the best compliment I've ever been given is my girlfriends, and they'll say to me, you're my rock. They're like, you don't scream and shout, you don't treat me badly, you don't disrespect me, you don't insult me in front of other people. They're like, and I know you're there at all times. And when someone says I need more of a man, really what they need more of is a rock. Someone who's just going to be there, that they can be in the emotional sea and deal with everything they want. And you know, I would say to these women that talk to you, say, if you really were that much of a masculine man, if you were really that, you wouldn't need to phone me to talk to me about all their problems, because men don't do that. Yeah. The real men, the real masculine men, they don't phone up and talk about their problems to somebody else. They just deal with it and move on, because that's what men do. And these guys that you think aren't masculine enough, they're just not dealing with your shit. Mm-hmm. And they're doing what men do, and that's moving on. And that's why you're losing them. It's nothing about you need them to man up. They are manning up, and they're manning straight out of your life. Whereas the men that you think are being the masculine men that need to rise up,
always physical abuse, always. Even though he was this famous NFL or famous something, always physical abuse, always infidelity, always drama. And it almost to me feels like the body's energy system is used to that level of adrenaline stress that any man who is not abusive will not look like a man.
Yeah. And this is what fascinates me, is because those men are always the ones that won't actually fight another guy.
Yeah.
Whereas the men that are willing to walk away are almost always the ones that would win that fight and would absolutely deal with it. And that's what the women are missing out on. They're missing out on the real man. And I would say to them, like, you know, I want you to imagine a scenario. I want you to imagine that somebody is in the nicest restaurant and one of the guys is shouting and screaming about how he's going to beat somebody up. And the other guy looks at him in the face and says, "You're not worth it," and walks away. Now you tell me which one's the man.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole point. And that's, you know, that's what I make it clear to them, like to get their definition of a man down. But this is something I'm really strong on because I deal with this a lot with the other way. We get a lot of guys that come up and they're like, I need to be big, aggressive and all this because that's going to work.
For that level of women, really, because they really love that energy.
They,
But then they leave. It's not to build partnership. It's to build a chemical explosion.
Right, and this is it. Like, but most of the guys that I work with, they actually want to meet beautiful women who are also wonderful people.
Yes.
And those women that you're describing aren't wonderful people, which is why they need a dating coach. And you know, and the wonderful, beautiful women who are good inside and outside, they want a strong, confident, calm, you know, resolute male who can function as that emotional rock and still get on and do stuff. You know, my girlfriend absolutely loves it when there's a big problem and there's a big stress in our world, and she comes to me and it's like, "This is the stress." I'm like, "Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's deal with it now." And then we just get on and knock it out. So,
My husband just says, "I got it."
There you go. That's
Like,
it. That's
how are you going to
exactly
solve it? Tell me, I'm all in stress. Like, do you want to worry about it or do you want me to solve it? Okay.
Yeah,
Because my husband is a man.
exactly. And that's what it takes. So he's just going to get it done. That's how it is. You know, you just put your shoulder to the wheel and you just do the thing. Just get on with it. And these guys that shout about what they're going to do, the guys that are actually doing it are like, "You're going to come and help do this thing, or you're going to keep shouting about it? Like, what are we doing here?" But yeah, that's what I would do. I'd get them to change their definition. And I would get them to, again, self-critique themselves. Like, which of these two people is a man? Which of these two people is a man? And describe it.
And which of these two women is a woman?
Yeah.
So do you want to be a woman?
Yeah. Well, and I'll
Or you want to just look like one?
So, and this is where I differ. I try to never, for women especially, women clients, I try to never critique them. Because I find that if I get them to analyze themselves, that's when they'll fight me. And instead, I'll always get them to just challenge their definitions of things. And then I'll get them to write out their definition.
You see, they don't fight me.
Yes.
It's different. I think
get
they
that.
don't fight me. I can be really tough with them.
Yeah, that's good.
They
See,
don't fight me.
see,
I
I
need
can't.
it. That's what I need.
Yeah, see-
I'm like, am I too much? No, give me more.
That's great. Yeah, see, I just have to be this stoic
Yeah,
rock.
you
It's
do.
just like, okay, I got it, but here's what we're going to do.
Yes,
So yeah,
cool.
that's, I just have to be a man. It was a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Bye.